Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sarah Centrella Show. I have taken, oh my gosh, almost 2 months off, I guess, for a little summer hiatus. I hope you are having an amazing summer, doing something fun with your family and friends and all that kind of good stuff. Since the last time we chatted, have gone to Greece. I had just the most incredible week and a half or so in Greece at my women's retreat. And it was a dream come true, you guys. It really was. It was something that had been on my future board since the very first one I ever did back in 2009 or so. You can see it up on my board here. It's made an appearance on every board that I've ever done. And it just lived up to all of it. It was just incredible. So I thought what I really wanted to jump on today and chat about was a couple things. So I'm just gonna share with you what I've been ruminating on over the last several weeks and personally working on, and the aha moments that I've had, because sometimes I feel like hopefully those are valuable to you as well. And the first one is this idea of ease. And I have talked about it several times on the podcast this year already. And so, as you probably know, I've been working on shifting my own mindset and my own belief system away from the hustle, which I know is revolutionary and almost crazy to have me say, because the hustle has been such a massive part of my identity and a massive part of my life, and obviously the title of my first book, Hustle, Believe, Receive. So I want to clarify that I will always hustle for the rest of my life. I will always put the work in. I will always show up and put effort into anything that I do. So that I'm not abandoning in any way, shape, or form. But what I want personally to move away from is having to work as hard as I do, and really wanting to get into a place of ease and of flow, and where everything that I want is coming to me, and maybe I have to put in a little less effort than I have put in the past to make that happen. And it took a long time for me to even see that as a limiting belief. I will be honest and say that, like, when I wrote Hustle, Believe, Receive, I absolutely did not see it as a limiting belief in any way, shape, or form. I was like, actually not, this is my superpower. This is something that I know I have in my back pocket, that I will always be okay because I know I can hustle, I know I can make something out of nothing. But what I started to realize as I became more and more successful over time was that if I didn't change that belief, and if I didn't change that mentality, then I would continue to create circumstances for myself where I had to engage that again. And that was a pattern that I was like, you know what? I'm 49 years old. I'm cool on that. I can leave that in the past. I do not need to show up that hard and work that hard, or worse, create situations for myself where I have to go back to that like crazy hustle. No, I want to transition. I want to move into the next level of myself. And part of that is shedding that skin in order to enter a flow of ease and of just genuine abundance in every area of my life, in love, in joy, in happiness, in connecting and working with my clients and with you as well. And so I've done the work. I've done a lot of healing over the last several years on myself and on those beliefs, which most of them track back to childhood, as they typically do with all of us, right? And had realized that there was, because of the way that I was raised, I was homeless for the first truly kind of 15 years of my life. Either we were completely homeless or we were staying on other people's property or land. So there was always a sense of insecurity throughout my entire upbringing. I had never lived in a place for more than 2 years in my entire life, until the last probably 5 or 6 years. And so that just shows like where that kind of hustle mentality came from. It was just ingrained in me from birth of a survival kind of mechanism. And that feeling of always being insecure regards to kind of everything around my circumstances or whatever the case was, that I just I'm done with, right? Like I'm like, no thanks. I have transcended that. I don't need that energy at all showing up any place in my life. But as any of you know who's done work on your subconscious or on your belief system, it takes true work, especially to get an ingrained belief system like that to uproot itself and change. And in order to do that, I did exactly what I teach my clients to. So first and foremost, you have to kind of recognize what that belief is, where that came from, where it's showing up in your current life. And then you have to actively work on changing that. And you start by what you tell yourself first and foremost. So on a proactive basis, every single day, I write down in my journal, I write on my whiteboard, and I tell myself, I am secure, I am loved, everything comes to me easily. I'm so grateful that life is easy and joyful. And so I've been bringing those words into my daily vocab as often as I possibly can. And really changing that belief system and getting it from kind of the ground up. And when I took off on the flight to Greece, like literally as the plane was leaving Portland, I just felt all of it almost leave my body. That might sound crazy, but I knew that that trip was going to be very pivotal for me, and I wanted to maximize it as best I possibly could. And to do that, I wanted to leave all of that behind, all of any, beliefs that hadn't served me, any of the struggle, any of the hustle that I've, held on to like a security blanket all my life, leave it behind and just transition into a space of peace, of ease, of joy, of love. And I just felt it every single day on that trip. And when I had worked on manifesting the word ease, I thought a lot about it. And I was like, well, what does ease look like? And so I had gone on Pinterest and I was pinning all of these pins of a woman like just floating in her diamonds. And to me, that was just ease. Like if you've ever swam in an ocean, you know that most of the time you're kind of struggling to stay afloat or whatever, but if you pop back on your back and absolutely let everything go, you get into this space of ease and of float. And I remember when we were on the boat and jumped off and was swimming. I love the water over there. This was the Aegean Sea, the Mediterranean is similar. You just float. I think the Aegean has more salt maybe than the Mediterranean as well, because you bob like a cork over there. So you can be in like a stand-up position in the water and not move anything, and you will literally bob like a cork. You'll just float. And so I was just out there for as long as I could be, probably 45 minutes or so, and I'm just in a state of be. Just float, just be. And that was really this moment where I was connecting kind of all of those dots that I've been working on and the healing that I've been working on, and manifesting into my reality, not only that moment of truly feeling ease and beauty and joy and all of that, but having the real life version of that. And so I've been committed to it every single day since. And it just keeps showing up in my life and showing up in my life in the most beautiful ways. I have many very exciting things happening that I'm not quite ready to share, but that are absolutely showing me every single day that feeling of ease, that feeling of security and secureness and love and all of the beautiful things that all the healing work I had done up to this point has allowed me to just receive with open arms and am loving every minute of it. And then to see that, you know, transfer into all phases of my life and into just my own being and how I feel has been just beautiful. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And so that's really what I wanted to jump on and say, like, if you have been in a space where you feel like you are working so much harder than what your results are showing, or than what your progress is, or than where you feel like you should be, or if you feel like you're pushing, or if you feel like you've transferred over from being really excited about something to feeling like you're forcing it or pushing it, all of that energy is the negative energy that will not give you the results that you want. And you have to do the healing work to find out why that's there. Why is it showing up? Because if you don't, it'll just keep showing up on a pattern basis in a million different ways in your life. And I just got to the place where I was like, I'm not okay with that anymore. As fun as it was to know that I could hustle out of anything, I'm not okay with it anymore. I don't want that. And so I was willing to really look at it and heal from it. So I just encourage you to do that in whatever way that makes sense. I think one of the things that has helped me a ton from just my own personal healing journey, especially when it comes to love or relationships, is a pivotal book that I read. I'll put the link here, and I'm super excited because I'm gonna have the author of this book on a future podcast. We're scheduled for a couple weeks from now, so I cannot wait to have this conversation with her. But the book is called Secure Love. And it has been just a game changer on so many levels for me, because it's helped me know myself, and know how to find that feeling of being fully secure, fully supported, inside or outside of a relationship, either one, right? Because it's your own personal journey, and it's how you create those feelings for yourself first and foremost, before anything else. And so that has been amazing. I've read lots of other books for the last couple of weeks as well, just been on my growth path times 10, I would say. But that is a huge one. So stay tuned. I hope you're subscribed to the podcast so that you can catch my interview with her when she comes on. And I think you're gonna love it. Like I said, I'll put the link here. And that just reminds me really quickly, if you have not shared this podcast, or if you have not left a review of this podcast, please, I beg you, I shamelessly beg you to take 2 minutes and do both of those things, because that is what helps the most. That is a way that you can give back and spread the love. And it fills my cup to know that what I'm doing here is making an impact in your life, as well as making an impact in mine to show up as my best self and to hold myself accountable to the work that I just know is so game changer and is so life changing for me. So yeah, I wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet, but I also wanted to tell you that part of my expansion and just growth and excitement, I have decided to get back on the road. I have not done a tour since 2019. I did one in 18 and one in 19. The one in 19 had like a couple more stops in early 2020, which canceled the rest of that tour. So I haven't really even tried to get back out on the road since then. And I was like, what am I waiting for? Let's go. I love doing in-person workshops. And initially I thought, you know what? I'll have these be really small. We'll have some really intimate, deep coaching sessions, and then like a really small VIP dinner. And the more I thought about it, I was like, but that doesn't feel like it is in alignment with my expansion and where I'm at. And and how I personally am growing and how I want to reach more people and teach them what I know is so life-changing. So I was like, okay, how can I make this work where we can kind of open it up to a larger audience? And so that's what I'm gonna do. I pivoted halfway through. And I love all of you who jumped on and grabbed your tickets early. Don't worry, I made you whole and made you right as well. But I was just strongly compelled and strongly moved to have the workshop price where it is open to more people. So you can go on Eventbrite. I partnered with them to offer 45 tickets for $45 at each of the stops. When those are gone, they're gone. And then the regular price is $97, which is still about half of what I would normally charge for a 3-hour coaching workshop. But my goal is that you bring your friends, like that you invite people who are like-minded, or bring your coworkers, or bring your team. That is what I really want. I want you to share the light. I don't want us to hide it under a bushel. If you've read my books or listened to my podcast and it's made an impact in your life, I really, really encourage you to share that. You have no idea what it could do to a person you interact with on a regular basis, or see every now and then. Like maybe they are in a place in their life where they want to learn some of these tools and they are ready to start manifesting a different life and feel empowered because they know what to do and they have those tools. So that is my goal, is that this kind of new pricing model, at least for the 45 for 45, that you can quickly go grab those and invite your friends, and we can meet in person. And then the VIP dinners, I still kept those really small. They're 15. And if you want to come to Portland, I'm very excited about the Portland because obviously that's my hometown. But we're doing out at the wine country, my favorite vineyard. Sarah, my good friend of mine, Sarah owns a vineyard out there, and she agreed to let me do something that has been on my future board forever, that I've always wanted to do, which is grape stomping during harvest time. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. So she said, yeah, she gave me the green light that we can get our little, what is it, like Ethel dresses on or whatever. Like, you don't have to stop the grapes if you don't want to, but that for our VIPs, I know my butt is going to be in there stomping some grapes. So I'm super excited about that. I have already, most of the people who bought tickets are coming in from out of town. So I'm stoked. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll put the ticket link here. Go grab your tickets, and thank you so much for making what I do possible. I just want to take a moment to say that. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for listening to this, buying the books, and doing the work so that you get change in your own life. I could not do this without you. Lots of love. Until next time, let's thrive.